The Fantasy Football Blitz, brought to you by your local Oktoberfest in September. Last week, the excitement for a new season was palpable. All 12 teams began the season 0-0 with a fresh start and new hope of making a playoff run to the ultimate goal to hoist the non-existent trophy that surely should have been procured by now, but that's a debacle for another time. For the first time in many seasons, we saw the Blue Barracudas fall below 500 and have a losing record. The usual suspects of Dirty Danes Drew, Jonathan Taylor and Co., and imposter wide receiver U all got off to hot starts and began the season with high-scoring, potent attacks. Thug Passion and Mika Leak floundered. Newcomer Dan Callahan seemed to be out of his league. And Dirty Mike and the boys edged out a 2-point win against Steel Neil Choden. As we turn our attention to week 2, will we see injured reserve, wide receiver U, the Danes, Dirty Mike and the boys, and imposter wide receiver U make it to 2-0? Will the Barracudas, Kittle Me Zeke, Thug Passion, Steel Neil, and Mika Leak bounce back? And will Big Trust cook? To week 2, we go. In week 2's Game of the Week, could Dirty Danes Drew dubiously deliver a double-digit drubbing to the high-scoring Jonathan Taylor and company? It was predicted to be a high-scoring game, seeing the company favored by 13.5 points. The Danes came out swinging and never looked back. The Law Associates of Murray, Jones, and Cooper exploded for 20-plus points, leading the way to a 152-95 shellacking of JT and Co. They dropped to 1-1. Danes off to a hot start at 2-0. Two teams trying to re-establish themselves as a force to be reckoned with. Could Mika Leak sneak a peek at the beginning of a winning streak, or would injured reserve keep the outlook bleak? Nick Chubb powers an explosive 120-point day for Mika Leak, much to the chagrin of the underperforming injured reserve, who failed to break 100 points and watches its unblemished record get buried faster than Queen Elizabeth. Both teams now at 1-1. Newly named Steel Neil Choden 1 takes its assortment of sensical monikers on the road against the 1-0 wide receiver U. Though it was a reasonable performance from the real Steel Neil, including 47 points from the top of his lineup, it wouldn't be enough to stave off the electric performance of Josh Allen and Mark Andrews, who helped catapult the true U to a 2-0 start. The Choden ones off to a rough beginning as they fall to 0-2. To panic at 0-1 would not be satisfaction or in fashion, as Thug Passion looked to right the ship on the road against the ever-perplexing and vexing imposter wide receiver U. Stephon Diggs continues his surge of dominance and adds a whopping 38 points to imposter wide receiver U's total. But it wouldn't be enough, as the rest of the squad was woefully low-scoring, leading to a subpar 97 points. Conversely, Thug Passion gets steady production from up and down the lineup as they cruise to a 13-point victory over the imposters. Both teams now at 1-1. If Mr. Garrison's steely stare was meant to be a sign of intimidation this week, Dirty Mike and the boys did not get the memo. Burrow, Harris, Williams, Waller, and the Buccaneers secure a lopsided win over the league's newest team still searching for its worst win. A slew of low-scoring players doom the Zeeks in their second effort, and they will have to wait until next week to try and get their elusive cherry popper. They fall to 0-2. Dirty Mike vaults to 2-0. Would the Blue Barracudas blissfully bounce back by bludgeoning bewildered Big Truss and the Cooks? Far from it. In the highest scoring matchup of the week, the Barracudas did all they could. More often than not, 122 points is a solid win and would have beaten every team but two. Unfortunately for them, the team they played was this week's high-scoring Payton's Cooks, and they were sizzling all weekend. They get a surprising 32-point blowout of the defending champs, 155 to 122. Let's take a quick peek ahead at next week. Old friends Cole and Michael Lee square off in a matchup of 1-1 teams. The brothers Faulkner will battle for family supremacy, as will the Callahans. The Barracudas find themselves in uncharted waters, pun intended, as they visit Mika Leak searching for their first win. 2-0 Dirty Mike and the boys face off potential juggernaut Jonathan Taylor and company. And this announces prediction for highest scoring game of the week. Imposter wide receiver U hits the road against the Dirty Danes. That's all for this week. We'll see you next time on the Fantasy Football Blitz.